Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. I know I've been dropping a ton of videos. I've been taking a little bit of a break. It's like the deadest part of the entire offseason, and I know that training camp is right around the corner, so these videos will pick up. I promise we're going to be dropping 4 or 5 a week when training camp's here, all through preseason, all through the regular season, so we're going to get back to being super consistent on this channel. Not that I haven't been consistent. I've dropped one each week, but I've definitely slowed down a little bit when there hasn't been as much to talk about. So I just want to kind of let you know that everything's good and that we're going to be posting a lot here coming soon. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait for this season. I'm excited to watch another year of Ravens football with you guys. And let's dive into today's episode. So we've talked about a possible Matt Judon trade to the Ravens earlier in this offseason, but a couple interactions on X between Judon and a fan and a meme he posted kind of got me thinking again how much this does make sense and how low risk of a move it is for Baltimore. So if you don't know, there was a fan who commented, if the Patriots don't give Judon an extension this season, pay the man what he wants. We want a solid defense. And then he responds, I don't think that's about to happen. And then he posts a SpongeBob meme. All right, I'm going to head out. Now, I don't think this is nothing. Obviously, Judon wants another contract. He's in the final year of his contract. But it's an interesting situation because the Patriots are clearly starting over, rebuilding a little bit. They're going with a younger core. They just drafted a young, hopeful franchise QB in Drake May. They're definitely not, in the market of paying veterans a solid deal, especially Judon, who's coming off a biceps injury, which is a serious injury, and they don't know what they're going to get out of him moving forward. I don't think that an extension is in the cards. He's an older player, and I think that he would best be served competing on a team that is ready to win. I'm sure that's what he wants. And what better than a return to Baltimore? He's already played here. I know he loves Baltimore. He still has a connection with a lot of teammates and coaches and, Eric DeCosta and Steve Bisciotti, the owner. So, I think that Judon would want to come back. I don't know that 1,000%, but it doesn't really matter if we make a trade, right? And it's really a low-risk trade for Baltimore. I mean, we probably only have to give up a 5th, 6th round pick. I don't think he's commanding much. He's, an older player who is coming off a serious injury, like I just said, and his cap hit is something that the Patriots probably don't want to have to pay. I think his cap hit's like $13-14 million for them, but his base salary is $6.5 million. So they'd have to work the numbers out. I know Baltimore isn't flourishing with cap room, but it's not like we can't make that work. It's not an insane number, and it would be a potential 1-year rental. We could end up extending Judon on a really team-friendly deal on a low number and kind of just have him as a rotational piece this year, but I just think it makes a lot of sense. I know he is coming off that injury, but I don't think we're going to ask him to be an every down rusher. We do have other pass rushers, especially some younger ones that I know are going to get more time, and Odafe Owe and David Ajabo, Tavius Robinson. But then we have the veterans like Van Noy, and I think adding a Judon just kind of rounds that pass rush group out. And I trust that Judon plays hard. He plays like a Raven. We already know that. We seen him thrive in New England, which doesn't happen very often. I know it happened with Zadarius Smith and Judon, but usually when players ball out in Baltimore and then go get a big deal somewhere else, they're not really taking a leap in that other place. But Judon was the opposite. Judon really broke out in New England too and consistently was a dominant pass rusher for them. So I just think this makes sense for all sides. I think he'd want to come back. I think the Ravens need to add a little bit more competition to the edge room, a veteran that you can trust, and we have enough depth there that he wouldn't need to be an every down player, and he can kind of take his time coming back from that biceps injury. So we'll see, but I just think this move makes a lot of sense. Another veteran still out on the market that we've talked about numerous times. I know a lot of other people keep talking about it. The rumors are definitely swirling. Is Justin Simmons to Baltimore. Now, I don't know why he's still out on the market. He obviously is either being picky or there's something else going on that we don't know, or he's asking for a ridiculous number. I'm not sure the details, but he's too talented of a player to be on the market for this long. It is weird. So maybe he's just being very selective and isn't going to command a huge deal and wants to play for a contender. That would make sense, and this would be a perfect fit. I mean, him coming in to replace Geno Stone couldn't be more of a perfect fit. He is a coverage safety. It's not like Jamal Adams where he's known for more of his physicality and his play in the box. And the Justin Simmons can cover the field, So having a Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton, Justin Simmons trio at safety is by far the best trio in the league. We just talked about in our last video how Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton were voted the best safety duo in the league. You add Justin Simmons to that mix, man, come on, bro. Like, crazy. I would be hyped for this. I think our secondary would be arguably the best in the league. We got to see what we still have with like Nate Wiggins, and if Brandon Stevens comes back and plays the same level, can Marlon Humphrey stay healthy? I think there's some questions at corner, but I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic with the players we have, and I think that if we get that other safety spot shored up, and I'm not sleeping on our Darius Washington. I think our Darius could win this starting job and flourish this year and play really well for us, but if we're picking, I think I'd rather have Justin Simmons. I think this is a safer move for us. He's an experienced player and would easily be able to come in and kind of play that Geno Stone role. And that frees our option with Kyle Hamilton up to be able to move him all over the defense like we did last year. So I just think that is a perfect move. I'm not sure if we could bring in Judon and Simmons under the cap. I'm not sure what contract Simmons is commanding, but we always can manipulate those numbers and give them a big signing bonus and add some void years or whatever it takes. But I really think that these two moves would round out the Ravens roster and add that experienced veteran depth and security that we're missing a little bit from losing guys like Patrick Queen and Clowney and Stone. And I think bringing in some guys that have a lot of NFL experience will not only push the younger guys to play better, but it'll just add the perfect amount of depth and really round this roster out. So I'd love to see both of these moves, if not at least one of them. I think that one of these moves is coming, or a move similar to this. I don't know if it'll be these exact players, but there's another move coming. I mean, we always sign veterans for steal of contracts as the offseason goes on, and we've waited a while. Free agency was months ago, and some of these guys, like a Justin Simmons, is still floating out there, which usually means you're going to get a value deal. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. And then a smaller move that we did make that not a lot of people are talking about is the Ravens signed an arena football player. Super fast, by the way. He ran 23.8 miles per hour in his workout with the Ravens. The Ravens brought him in for minicamp and OTAs on a tryout workout basis, but they did end up signing him, so he's going to get a true shot in the preseason and a true shot at making this 90-man roster. He even said that on X. And it seems like he's coming in for special teams / kick returning competition. Now, we have Hardy that we signed from Buffalo, and he wasn't present in a lot of minicamp because he was dealing with something with his child. So hopefully everything's okay there. But bringing in competition, especially someone with this kind of speed, is never a bad idea. It was reported that Torrey Smith and Jacoby Jones, two former Ravens, were highly recruiting this guy and basically advocating to Baltimore, like, give this dude a chance. And they've officially signed him. So we'll see. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of cuts throughout the offseason, but it is an exciting prospect. I think with this much speed, I mean, running 24 miles an hour is wild. So if we can get a guy that electric back there returning kicks, or if it's Hardy or whoever, I just think that we're going to be a little bit ahead of the special teams curve as usual. I know the past few years our special teams hasn't been quite as dominant, but there's a lot of changes with the kickoffs this year, and I think that John Harbaugh is going to make sure that this team is going to have the best special teams unit in the entire NFL again. You know, we obviously already have a great kicking unit, the best kicking unit led by Tucker, but maximizing the blocking strategy on these kickoffs and having an electric returner is going to be crucial, because we're going to have and see a lot more kickoff returns for touchdowns this year and big plays, which I'm excited about. You know what I mean? Open up the game. Pretty much our whole lives watching football, we've seen a ton of kick returns, except for these, you know, this last chunk of years since they changed the rule, trying to keep everyone safe. But I think this is a nice balance to keep everyone safe and bring a lot of electric special teams plays back into the game. So I'm excited about this signing. Hopefully it works out. I'm going to be watching him closely. I just think it's an exciting prospect name for us to kind of tune into. So I wanted to talk about it. That's it for today's episode, guys. I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. As always, we're going to have a lot more videos coming out soon once training camp gets back going. We're going to be updating every day and just fully back dived into the Ravens and this NFL season, and hopefully start the road to a Lombardi this year. So I'm excited, guys. I appreciate you as always. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim there where the sense can't tame the